Hello and welcome again to another tutorial in the series. This tutorial is going to be about a special function that you can use in classes, and the function is called as init. Essentially what it does is it's a special function that gets called whenever an object is created. You don't have to call it like other functions that we looked in the previous videos. So let's create a class person, and inside this function the first thing I will create is the init function. And to create the init function, you type def and underscore underscore, two underscores, and then init, and then two underscores and the round brackets. And since we are using objects, we'll type self and then the colon. So whatever you write in this method is going to be called as soon as you create an object. Now you don't need to specifically call this function as we do with other functions. For the other function we need to create an object and then use that object to call those functions. But for this function we don't have to do that. Whenever we create an object, this function gets called automatically. So inside the function let's print hello. And we'll create another regular function so you can easily look at the difference. So let's say def run, and we'll need self, and let's print I am running. So let's create an object now. So let's say p equals person, and for the run function, for this run function we'll need to call it using the object. So let's say p dot and run, and let's run our code, and you can see it prints hello and I am running. So we didn't call the init function, but still it printed hello because we created the object, and because we called p.run, it printed I am running. So let's comment p.run and let's try running our code again. And you can see it prints hello even though we didn't call any function. So this init method gets called whenever we create an object. So you might think why we need the init method. So now that we know what init does, let's look at how it might be useful. So you can have parameters similar to other functions in the init method as well. So let's say self, and let's take another parameter name. And let's create an instance variable self.name equals to name. And for the run method, what we'll do is we'll print the name and is running with it. So self.name and is running. Now let's create two objects. Let's say a equals person. And to pass parameters to this method, to the init method, you pass it when we create an object, because this method gets called when we create an object. So inside the round brackets, we can pass our parameters. Now we know that we don't have to pass the self parameter because it's passed by Python automatically. So let's pass the name. So let's say Alfred, and let's create another object. So j equals person, and let's pass a name. So let's say Jason, and let's call our run methods now. So a.run and j.run. So let's run our code and see what it does. And you can see for a.run it prints Alfred is running, and for j.run it prints Jason is running. So what the init method does is it allowed us to customize or initialize the name variable directly when we create the object. And that's what you will see people using init for. It's mostly used for assigning values to instance variables or any other variables. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys were able to understand the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you liked it, and until next time.